us! Nobody!
We want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it so personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate!
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes of me! You got it. 60 minutes! No business, no mercy! Nothing but stop on the shot bubble! You got me! We're gonna ring the bell! We're gonna ring that championship bell! Ding, motherfucking dog!
Ball is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl. 3rd and 16, Mahomes rolling out. Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block, DeJean is in, touchdown!
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
You are looking live for the last time, at least until August, at the Huddle Up Podcast. We hope you are doing well and that your first few days of the post-NFL football season are treating you nicely. You can follow us all the time at Huddle Up Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. or at Huddle Up Inc. on Twitch, where we do have our weekly live shows. You can scan the QR code top right corner of your screen. That'll get you to our link tree and everything Huddle Up related, including the merchandise over on the TeePublic store, where we have some new offerings, some old offerings. Dropped even a couple new ones over there, one to get you ready for the Masters coming up here before too long. So head over there and grab the merch while you can. Would certainly appreciate that support as always as well. So as it's been for most of the year, and we don't know if EJ will be stopping by to join us tonight, but Sean is here. I am here. Sean, how are we doing?
Well, weather-wise, doing great. No football on the horizon, a little rough, but it's still Super Bowl week.
It is.
Unfortunately, through Super Bowl weekend, a bit of a cough and cold all weekend, and while the cough is dissipating, it has left its mark on my vocal cords. So we are going to muscle through. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna trudge through.
There we go.
I couldn't leave Devin disappointed by not seeing my beautiful face one more time, and I had to be here. Says, "What's up, boys? What's up, Devin? Good to see you one more time."
Devin checking in with us. Scotty checking in. He says, "Who do you think would be a good OC for the Raiders?" Man, that's a good question, especially with going such a young route at head coach. I would tend to think you would maybe bring in somebody who's had a bit of a track record,
a bit more tenured. Yeah, the good news for the Raiders, can't get much worse.
Well, that is true.
So
that is true.
Really, things have to look up, right?
And it certainly does look like Fernando Mendoza is most likely going to be your quarterback next year. So you definitely want to think of an OC that would, play to his strengths. So while he can move around, probably a little bit more of a pocket guy than some of the other quarterbacks in the NFL. So you'd want to think about that. as well. But yeah, I don't have any names honestly in my head, but I think you'd probably want to go with somebody with a little bit more tenure, just because you have talent there, and it's a matter of utilizing it.
Right.
I think the bigger concern for the Raiders at this point is the reports that Max Crosby has basically told management that he's not playing for the Raiders anymore. So now again, you have an opportunity over the next couple of months before the draft to try and smooth that relationship over, but that's what I'm more concerned about if I'm a Raiders.
Myles Garrett said that.
Well, sure. Money solves things.
Money talks.
Money talks.
I'm not sure Max Crosby's in the same league of personality as Myles Garrett.
No, I mean,
strikes me as a guy that wants somewhere that he can compete. Like that's what he wants.
Yeah.
And,
but like the great $1 million man Ted DiBiase says,
everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
So we'll see what the Raiders can do. Scotty says he hopes Max stays. Yeah, Scotty, a Raiders fan, says, but what would you do? What would you want in return for him? I mean, a couple of first-round. I mean, you look, the Cowboys got 2 first-round picks and a defensive lineman for Micah Parsons. So I feel like there's at least a starting point right there. A couple of first-rounders for sure. Probably even more at this point, because, like, I mean, the similar caliber players, bring a similar vibe to the team. So I think that's where you start, and then you kind of go from there. But Super Bowl week. Super Bowl has come and gone. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks and their fans, and Sam Darnold and the Jets fans that still love him. Happy for their guy. But Sean, before we jump into the show and the things we normally do here, a little trivia question. My wife saw this one, and I'll see if you know. I picked, I think, one of them out, and I couldn't get the rest. What 4 players have won the Heisman Trophy, College Football National Championship, and the Super Bowl?
Wow.
Yeah. See? Okay. I'm glad, because that was my first reaction. I'm like, hold up. Nope. Uh-oh.
You said there's 4?
Mm-hmm.
Heisman Trophy, National Championship, and a Super Bowl. Well, Reggie Bush jumped into my head, but I don't know if he was on that.
Reggie Bush is one. He was on the Saints. I didn't get that one.
I would say Reggie Bush would be one for sure. I think Heisman winners that have actually done anything.
See, that's the hard part. For so long, the Heisman Trophy winner has not performed well.
Right? Yeah, it's Heisman Trophy National. I mean, Horning maybe.
No.
I
think you went a little too far back.
I was just curious because I didn't know he wasn't one of our Heismans. All right, let me see. It put me on the spot here.
One's a defender.
Okay. Heisman Trophy defender. Charles Woodson.
There's 2.
Right. And then, is it a quarterback or no?
They both are running backs.
Okay. Well, that helps. Peterson didn't. Emmitt Smith didn't.
Nope.
Man, that's excruciating. I don't even know which running backs won the Heisman Trophy.
I'll give you a clue. One of them, we've talked about the NFL team he played for, and also Tecmo Bowl. Think Super Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
And a team that we've talked about on the show already.
We've already talked about on the show. Oh, Marcus Allen. Yeah, Bo Jackson would have been the one that jumps off the page. It wouldn't have made any sense. And then, Marcus Allen makes sense.
And then last one, I am wearing one of the teams that he played for.
Oh, man. A running back. Tony Dorsett.
Tony Dorsett was the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough list.
Yeah, So I got Charles Woodson right away. And then I couldn't get the rest because I forgot that Reggie Bush played on that Saints team. And I would have never.
That was the only miss. Was he on that Saints team?
I would have never gotten Tony Dorsett or Marcus Allen. So I think
I forgot he won a national championship.
Yeah, if you're listening, take that one to your friends and coworkers and make their head hurt as much as ours did when we heard those questions. But well, Sean, as we have done throughout the course of this season, we might as well do it one last time. Yeah, we are at the end of the year. Remind everybody that this is our last live show of the weekly live show until August. Now, every so often, we'll pop up and do a live show and a set of recordings, do some off-season content. We'll try to do more than we did last year. But
maybe
we will,
something at the draft.
Round draft time for sure. A couple other times from here or there. But we'll be back in August. Get you ready for college football and the NFL and all of that. We'll kick it back off for season number 11, by the way, looking back over the history of this program. This was year 10. But Sean, obviously not a lot of football. But what was the best from the past week in football and sports?
Well, I mean, I had a few on the docket. I have one that I can talk about later, so I'll put that off to the side. I think I'm going to go with probably one of the obvious ones here, though it was not anything record-setting. It looked boring at times, looked like timing was off. I'm going to give my best of the week to Sam Darnold, who, though struggling at times, did not cross that precipice into disaster Sam Darnold. Kept things under control. A lot of the incompletions were balls that only his receiver had a shot at. And, he did just enough, you know what I mean? And kind of realizing that, hey, like, I can't play bad, but I don't have to play great.
Right.
And to just be like, I'm going to walk out of here as Super Bowl champion. I think my best of the week has more to do with his path to this point, obviously.
Sure.
I don't know if that's a trivia question in the future. I don't know how many quarterbacks. I don't know how many quarterbacks get released.
Right.
Free agency and then win a Super Bowl their next year.
There's probably not a lot.
Not a lot. I mean, good for him to be written off after the bumbling Jets and to, do what he did in Minnesota and have people still think it was a fluke, and then just go do it again. I mean, good for him. Why not hoist a Lombardi trophy and enjoy yourself?
Now, to be fair, Tom Brady, some people have heard of him, did get released to free agency and won a Super Bowl.
I was going to say he was the one that popped into my head right away.
The next year, but I feel like obviously that release into free agency is a heck of a lot different than Sam Darnold.
A little different.
New England was kind of at a crossroads. And look, I mean, I get people are definitely having their fun at the Vikings fans' expense, but I will continue to say you look back at last year and the closing statement that Sam Darnold made in Week 18 in the round one of the postseason. He didn't make a strong case for a team who had a rookie quarterback that they drafted in the first round, and coming off, basically a redshirt season. Like Darnold, I think in that closing statement didn't do enough to make his case. I still, J.J. McCarthy aside and what his future is going to be, I still think Minnesota did the right thing by their franchise. Let's just be fair. Seattle is a better team than the Vikings.
Yeah, I think I brought that up last time.
For sure.
You don't have the pieces.
No.
That Seattle had.
No. So, two franchises at very different positions. But, heck of a journey to Sam Darnold. And a stat that I saw that I thought just when I saw it, seemed very shocking. And then I started thinking about even in our lifetime, and even when this college program got really, really good, and they didn't have a quarterback that parlayed to NFL success. Sam Darnold, the first USC Trojan quarterback to win a Super Bowl. That seems very surprising to me. But in the same time, Joe Montana is the only Notre Dame quarterback to win one as a starter? Like, I think Berline was on the Giants roster, but he wasn't the starter.
I was going to say, I thought maybe he also might have been on that Panthers team, but they didn't win it.
They didn't win it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
so yeah, it's
Warning, if he counts.
Well, yeah, I guess
technically won one.
Or was that an NFL championship? But you're splitting hairs with that. I mean, Ian Book is a Super Bowl champion as a third stringer on the Eagles roster, but I don't think that counts. But yeah, just that's wild that you think of some of the success that USC has had over the years, and Sam Darnold's the first one. So yeah, hats off to him. Devin here in the comments has one of the things I had written down. Seahawks kicker Jason Myers is his best of the week. Yeah, 5 field goals, 17 points, set 2 Super Bowl records. Devin, I'm with you, bud. I think he got robbed of being the Super Bowl MVP. Like, I get the game wasn't close. It wasn't like a Vinatieri, game-winning field goal situation. But you even look at halftime when it was 9-0, and that offense had sputtered a bit. Those 9 points that were scored by Jason Myers seemed insurmountable at halftime almost. Like he put Seattle in a great position. So did their defense. Again, it was a team effort. When you're getting to that point where you're like, man, it could be this guy, it could be this guy, it could be this defender, it could be, that's you're doing things pretty well as a team when you hit that point. My actual best of the week, and I'll let you highlight anything else then if you have them, but I'm wearing, of course, Notre Dame garb. I like to close out the year with my teams, wearing my teams here. But Notre Dame alumni making their presence felt in the Super Bowl. Julian Love, 2 tackles and a big interception. Riley Mills, rookie for the Seattle Seahawks, missed most of the year, still recovering from the injury that probably cost Notre Dame a national championship, if we're being brutally honest about it. But Riley Mills, 1 tackle and his first NFL sack in the game. And if you haven't seen the locker room clip with him talking about it, he said, yeah, my objective, it was to run through the guy's face. And I was like, well, that's what he did.
Well, that's a good mentality.
So congratulations to those Domers. I wouldn't be myself as well if I didn't highlight Michigan alum A.J. Barner, 4 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Obviously, all 3 of those contributing in their ways to the Seahawks Super Bowl win.
Yeah, I mean, my other one that I had would have been maybe Kenneth Walker, who looked as good as he's looked, I thought, in quite a long time. Looked very shifty, looked very healthy. And we'll talk about him a little bit more in a minute. But my number 2 was probably, and I'm not trying to get political here, was probably Bad Bunny. I thought Bad Bunny had a chance to shine and kind of got, for everyone's own personal reasons, a lot of flack just for being who he is. And decided to put on, he's like, well, I'm just going to recreate me in a halftime show. We're going to do where I'm from, what their problems are, what my rise was, and we're going to do it all in Spanish, and people are going to still talk about how great it was. And I thought it was a very good show. Not on a top 5 list of halftime shows for me, anything like that from a performance standpoint, but I think from a statement standpoint, he really sold himself well. So that was one of my best of the week.
Yeah, and some of the numbers I forgot to pull the stats, but I think 4 billion social media impressions and views over the last 24 hours. Basically, it was a great performance, and for sure. Yeah, had plenty of eyes tuned in and still tuning in. I forget, I saw the there was a note about there was like no or like very minimal like number of toilet flushes in New York City during the performance, but there was something like 75,000 or 750,000 in the 15 minutes following the performance. Wow. So New York City was tuned in for sure, as a lot of people were.
Something I didn't even 100% know that they tracked.
No, I didn't know either. But
we kept.
But I guess the plumbing numbers are in.
Who's watching my toilet? I feel bad for that guy.
You're not kidding, but yeah, it was a wild week, and certainly a way to close up the football season, and we might as well. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the game. Let's get into the game itself, Sean. Seahawks 29, Patriots 13, a game that probably wasn't even that close. If you're really looking at the way the game played out, it was a defensive game, and I think when you go back and look at the show last week and what we talked about and how this game was going to play out, this wasn't surprising. Even at halftime, I said this game is going exactly how I thought it would. Now I thought maybe we would have been more in like the 10-3 landscape at that point, but I really wasn't shocked with the way the game played out. Both defenses were playing really well. The Patriots were giving up yards and then closing up the field when it got smaller. Seattle's defense, man, was just swarming from the jump, and now you look and reportedly some injuries on the Patriots offensive line, injuries to Drake May, not going to require surgery on the shoulder, but it was the game was as we thought it was going to play out. Maybe a little bit of more scoring late because the Patriots defense, God bless them, just got worn down. But initial thoughts on the game, Sean?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure when I talked about what the Seahawks needed to do, it was between them and what the Patriots didn't want to happen was the Seahawks had to stop the first and second down run plays between the tackles. Mm-hmm. And the Patriots had a couple. First drive, they had a few. Seattle closed the door. And for the rest of the first half and into the second, the Patriots were set up with second and long, third and long, and it was put into Drake May's hands. And I also told them, I'm sure they were listening, I also told them that you had to contain Drake May in the pocket and rattle him there. Don't let him get outside. And with the exception of a few plays, that's where he was getting hammered, was in the pocket. And, and then it was just don't force Sam Darnold to do anything. Run the ball, play your game. And the script that they wrote worked just fine. I don't think they had to do a lot of adjusting. And, it was pretty much like we said. I think it was a tale of two teams. And obviously knowing that, I've said with Drake May, and getting through top 5 defenses, like even in those playoff wins, he didn't look that great against good defenses. And I think he still hasn't. I don't know if he's not like tipping his passes or anything like that, but he's a young kid. Top 5 NFL defenses are like nothing you've ever seen playing at North Carolina,
Yeah.
And what he saw in the regular season was not these 3 teams he just ran through. Learning experience, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be around for quite a while.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of comments regarding the Patriots and Drake May and all of that. Devin says he regrets taking the under. I'm not sure what under you had, but the official line I think closed at 45.5, and that under did hit. So I'm not sure if you had a different one, but we did try to tell people hit that under. But here's the deal, and I'll say this about the Patriots. Yeah, they benefited from what turned out to be a pretty easy regular season schedule. Nobody gets to pick that. We've beaten that drum all year. Yeah. And then even in the postseason, like, look, the Chargers at one point were leading the NFC West ahead of the team that ended up being the number one seed. They got bit by the injury bug. That's not the Patriots' fault. And then everybody wants to say, well, C.J. Stroud threw the game away against
it. Look, not their fault.
Look, and here you can say that C.J. Stroud threw the game away, but also maybe let's give some credit to this New England defense that was one of the best in football this year. Like, they're also making plays in that game. They're putting the pressure on C.J. Stroud and making him make mistakes as well. So let's give a little bit of credit there. What I have said to some people kind of in the aftermath of this game is the one that really changed what was going to happen this past Sunday was the injury to Bo Nix at the end of the Bills-Broncos game. Because the Broncos, whether people say you could believe in what they did or not, that team beat the Bills. That team beat, like, the team. Like, everybody's like, this is Josh Allen's year. Like, this is year to do it. There's no Mahomes, and there's no Burrow, and there's no Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar Jackson's never won anything. Like, okay, cool. So the Broncos beat that team. Not necessarily beat Josh Allen, but they beat that team. And in just the freakiest dumb injury, Bo Nix gets hurt. I think if the Broncos get in, this is a different Super Bowl. Do the Seahawks still win? Probably, because I do think that they were the better team overall. But Denver's defense better than New England's. Denver's offense with Bo Nix definitely better than what the Patriots were putting out. So it would have been a different game. That's kind of the big what if. But look, the Patriots earned it. I don't care. Anybody wants to discredit them. They earned it.
No, absolutely they did.
Again, 2018 was a different story on the NFC side because teams couldn't beat the backup quarterback. But, like, every team in the NFC had the opportunity to do what the Patriots got to do in the NFC or in the AFC title game this year, and that was beat a backup quarterback. Nick Foles better than Jarrett Stidham? Probably. So he certainly isn't a Super Bowl winner. But
I would guess yes.
But you know what I mean? It's you can only play the game that gets put in front of you, and that's people. I know it's easy to discredit teams, maybe because you're mad your own team isn't good enough. Lord knows I've done that enough over the past 30 years. But
it can make you crazy.
But yeah, I will absolutely. I will absolutely give the Patriots credit for their season. But yeah, I mean it was the defensive joint. And speaking of Drake May, not the first time he's been sacked by Riley Mills. You go back to a game in Chapel Hill in 2022, and Riley Mills put Drake May on the field in his home turf there. So they've been introduced before, and they got reintroduced on Sunday in a big way. So, but yeah, I mean, it was in all facets. It was a Seattle dominance. I mean, the defense, we know that story. Offensively, they especially got going. Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, over what I think 137 yards or something like that. And boy, did things work out well for this guy, because all year spends most of the year, as the second back behind Zach Charbonnet, who gets hurt in early in the postseason. Kenneth Walker runs this team to a Super Bowl championship, Super Bowl MVP, and oh yeah, guess what? He's a free agent, so Kenneth Walker's about to make some money coming off his rookie deal this offseason. So somebody is about to show him the money, which is a clip I need to put on the board.
Oh yeah, how do we not have that?
I'm shocked I don't have the money, but yeah, he's about to get paid this offseason. So so my question, and I already touched on it with Devin's comment. I still think that it should have been Jason Myers setting 2 Super Bowl records. I understand why you don't give it to the kicker when it's a 16-point victory. Like, I get it. But the man scored 17 points. You won by 16. He literally he scored more points than you won the game by. So I still think Jason Myers should have been the MVP. But Sean, was Kenneth Walker the right choice?
Kenneth Walker was the right choice. Watching the game, and the game plan being like we're going to ride Kenneth Walker as long as he'll carry us. I can appreciate a kicker doing what Myers did, and 5 field goals, setting a record. I mean, he's got that. That's a check mark. I think if some of those drives had stalled sooner, and maybe 2 of the kicks were from 55 or 60 yards, like to bail out failed drives, as opposed to getting well into scoring position and being okay with 3, where it was something that only he could have done, you still got to make him, and he did a heck of a job. But yeah, I feel like the kicks may have been too short to push that. It wouldn't have surprised me if he had. I thought going into that second half, I thought that the only situation that would have dispelled Kenneth Walker would have been a defensive player that's already having a great game, making that jump out, stand out play where James Harrison-esque,
right,
99-yard return. Maybe Shaheed gets a kick return.
Man, he got close to breaking a couple of plays, didn't he?
I watch him play, and I'm like, what were the Saints doing with Rasheen Shaheed?
Right.
You got Chris Olave's head falling off every year.
What'd you do?
And this kid's been sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, what has happened? But he's got a home now.
You blew it!
But, man, yeah, I thought maybe like a big sack, fumble, run back, something like that. Maybe it would have set up a different MVP.
And that Riley Mills sack was early. You're saying Super Bowl MVP Riley Mills. If he would have had a couple more tackles, maybe, or if Julian Love's interception,
big stat line,
yeah. If Love's interception goes back for a touchdown, maybe as well. But yeah, I mean, look, he played a hell of a game. If there was going to be somebody on the offensive side of the ball, he was the right choice. I mean, he made a couple of big plays that started to kind of bend, maybe break the back of New England's defense a bit and put them in great positions. But I think it was hard. I think it was hard to pick a single MVP because it was just a dominating team performance. And
yeah, it was a butt whooping.
And even you look in the post game, and we were kind of joking about it in a friends group of mine that, like, is this like the most subdued Super Bowl champion team like of all time? And I think it's just kind of the mindset of Mike McDonald. Credit to him. I mean, to go from the college ranks and youngest NFL coach at the time at 36 and now a Super Bowl champion under the age of 40. I mean, just a hell of a run for him. But like, I think you look at the way this team operates and they're just kind of organized and they're set up for success. And I think they know what they are and they take care of business and they do what they do. Devin here in the comments said he had heard a rumor last week that Seattle is going to sell because they won the Super Bowl. So that actually came out, I think, about mid to late last week that the team is actually up for sale. So from the GM standpoint and coaching and everything standpoint, doesn't seem to be changing, but the ownership group is actually selling the team. Yeah, it's
right.
not even a rumor at this point. So I mean,
it's the daughter of the former owner, right? Like
I believe so. Yeah.
And I think it was in his will and trust that he wants the kids to sell the team.
Yeah.
And like basically split the money, and go that route. So, it's been in the cards for a while. They were just waiting for the right time. And I think they found it.
Yeah.
This is probably the best time to sell.
Yeah, and apparently, Jody Allen, billionaire owner of the Seahawks, plans to sell the team, donate proceeds to charity. So just, I mean, seems like a tremendous individual, and but yeah, they are. So here it is. 67-year-old is the chair and trustee of the Seahawks and the Portland Trail Blazers, with the ownership.
Yeah, I knew it was basketball
over
too, yeah.
both. Passing to her after the 2018 death of her brother, Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, after battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The longtime owner of the Pacific Northwest sports franchises, worth roughly $20 billion at the time of his death, is widely credited with revitalizing the Seahawks. So yeah, okay, so that's what it is. It was in his. Looks like it was in his will.
But yeah, to charity, that's what it was. It
donating to charity. So, and I saw somebody bring up a great point too. And if for people that aren't a fan of the current color scheme and logo and uniforms of the Seahawks, with the team selling, this would be a great opportunity to go back to the throwbacks, which have made their rebrand and kind of a modern throwback, if you will. I would love that. I've hated this Seattle Seahawks look ever since they unveiled it, ever since Nike took over for Reebok.
I think a lot of people like it.
They probably do. I hate it.
They like that neon green a lot.
Give me the damn Rick Meyer era uniforms. Bring them back.
Heck yeah.
The couple more things from the game before we start to wrap up the year here. The key to Seattle's win was what, Sean?
Well, I mean, the most glaringly obvious was complete team defense, but I think I would go more with kind of what I was alluding to earlier, which is limiting what New England can do to you offensively. You already have the weapons behind you on defense at all levels. If you can take away the things that make it easier to beat you, like big chunks on first down and free lanes outside and things like that, and take away the low underneath routes and force them to put it over the middle, that just makes life so much harder, especially for a young quarterback that may or may not have been tested by a defense this good. And, the later into that game it got, where he was going to have to take shots one way or another, you saw it coming, and he just had no choice but to put it in danger's way, and he paid for it. So, I think that kind of just scheme in general was what they did best.
Yeah, and I think kind of similar to that, and when student of the game Kyle Nash hears this, I think he'll be proud of what I say here. The defense, and I mean honestly both sides of the ball, but particularly on the defensive side of the ball, winning the line of scrimmage and dominating in the trenches, because they got to New England before they could do anything. That one touchdown drive was like the only time that the defense wasn't just in New England's face the whole time, and they were able to go down and make plays. So the glimpses of the chance to win were there for New England, but then once Seattle flipped that switch again, there was nothing they could do. So, I think winning that line of scrimmage battle right in the trenches, that's really where they took the game over. Devin says dominating defense for almost the entire game. I think that's the common theme, and it's not to discredit the offensive side of the ball, but they didn't have to do a whole lot, in that game. A couple last things as we begin to start to turn the page a bit here, Sean, and you look at these two teams. How do you think they fare next year? We'll start with New England. How do you think they finish next year? Do they run it back as East champs? Do they go on a playoff run again?
Well, I mean, I think both are mildly up in the air.
Sure.
I think New England's the most up in the air of them, only because of, we've talked about it, how it's not their fault, but that schedule was there. And depending on the matchups next year, and who they're up against, and is it a harder road? If that is the case, then I think that, it's not going to be quite as easy sledding, obviously. Now you're in a division where the Bills are probably in even more flux.
Yeah.
And have a new regime taking over. So that probably buys you a little breathing room there. And, of course, the Jets and the Dolphins are the Jets and the Dolphins. No offense, Devin. But,
yes.
I mean, I don't see any reason why you can't regress and still win the East.
Sure.
I just don't think it's going to be that smooth road and Drake May the hero and those things. I think they're going to have to make some steps forward if they're going to try to make a push for the Super Bowl a second time. My guess is probably just a playoff appearance kind of thing would still be a success to do that 2 years in a row. But that's probably where I have them. I don't really have them necessarily making a deep run. But fighting more of a fight for the East and a potential wild card or slight East win.
Yeah, I think that, can certainly regress and win the East, but yeah, I think we're going to see this team with some struggles, and I think you're going to see it even with Drake May. I mean, I think it's hard to repeat success. I still think they're a playoff team, probably second in the East. But I think if they don't win the division, you're probably more likely to be a wild card, 2 or 3, because I think that East is a weaker division. So, I obviously we're not putting locks on these or anything like that, but I think second in the East, a second or third wild card berth is probably more likely for them. And what about the defending champs, Sean? Do they have the probability to do it again?
Well, they've got all the right pieces in the right place. And now I haven't looked at their full list of free agents and things like that. But a lot of the stars and a lot of the players that have contributed late are still fairly young.
Yeah.
So you've got them kind of on the cheap. The wide receiver core is probably not going anywhere. And we saw some guys underneath. Even Halani, who played in the Super Bowl, mildly effective running back who could fill in if Walker goes. And we saw the Torrey Holton, the wide receiver, the rookie they have, make some big plays at times. The only thing that puts their season next year in flux for me is the potential state of the NFC West. It is still a very good division. Now status of Matt Stafford, that's going to –
He ain't getting younger, that's for sure.
It's going to play into it a lot. Are the 49ers past this regime's push, or are they going to do it again? It's hard to really say. I'd say the Cardinals, but why? But with those three teams there, I don't see Seattle taking a big step back. If one of those other two wants to make a step forward and maybe catches a game edge because Seattle has a few tougher those like number 1 seed matchups, maybe that's the difference by a game or two. I think there's a chance that's the case, but for the most part, I have no reason to believe why Seattle won't either be a division winner or a wild card too, and trying to make another push to the bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to have Kenneth Walker back, but Charbonnet is going to come back off of injury.
Charbonnet's pretty good.
Charbonnet's pretty good. Yeah, the offensive core is there, the defensive core is there, coaching staff. You may lose some assistants, but McDonald's not going anywhere. I have absolutely no reason to believe that this team is at the very least not going to repeat as NFC West champ. Look, I mean, the Niners, it's impressive that they got to where they were this year. I also think it's a product of the NFC, some of the teams being lesser than once you got away from the division winners. But they're a team that a lot of their players aren't getting younger. And Brock Purdy's now had some injuries. And then you look at the Rams, like, yeah, they have young players, but every year, I don't care that he won the MVP. I don't right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't care. I have a hard time thinking Matt Stafford's going to be able to do that again. And so then is Jimmy G still your backup? Is Stetson Bennett your backup? Like, I think the Rams showed us at best what they are, and Seattle's the better team. You better hope that if you're going to play Seattle, you get them on the road, because that place is back to being as scary of a place to go into and play against. So yeah, if you're asking me today, Seattle wins the West and probably has a chance to make another deep run.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah, repeating is very hard, but if there's a team that can do it, it's probably Seattle. Do either of these teams, Sean, deserve a grade for the season less than an A?
No. And obviously I've had my qualms with the Patriots schedule, and like every time we got into the playoffs, I made the point Drake May hasn't played a top 5 defense. But like you said, it's not their fault. The games that were in front of them, for the most part, they won them handedly. And they had to take the East from the Buffalo Bills, and they did that face to face. And whether or not the other teams were giving them breaks or whatever else, they had to go through a couple of pretty tough teams to get to where they did. So, yeah, I mean, backup quarterback or not, Denver in the snow is not an easy place to play. And yeah, they found their way there. And you can't, I mean, especially unless you're just not giving out A's.
Right.
Like, I mean, how many teams had a better year than the New England Patriots? Not really. I mean, I would argue that based on quality of wins, I know it wasn't against better opponents, but like, how did you look in them? They'd probably score higher than Denver.
Yeah.
Offensively, but not defensively, maybe not so much. But yeah, I mean, they would probably be a lower A for me than Seattle, but they're both A's.
Yeah, Patriots had the third highest point differential this year at plus 170 in the regular season. Like, they were crushing people. Again, you're playing bad competition, but you're dominating them. Like, you don't get to pick your schedule, but the thing you do control is how you play them. And
they wouldn't have made the college football playoff because they're not in the SEC.
Right. Right. Did they win their last
quality wins? Did
they win their last couple of games by more than 25, or the average 25? Not going to make this about Notre Dame yet. There's my Catholics versus Committees T-shirt back there, though. Thank you. There was a Notre Dame alumni who put those together on Twitter and donated, I think it was over $5,000 to the Notre Dame General Athletic Fund, or General Education Fund, I think. Devin here in the comments, I'll give my thoughts on that, but Devin says he hates Saban. He thinks the Patriots are a lock for the playoffs next year. He says he can definitely see Seattle making it back to the championship, but don't see them running it back the whole way to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. No, and these teams both deserve an A. Seattle with the A+, obviously, with what they did. But New England had back-to-back 4-win seasons, and were the number 2 seed, and it made it to the Super Bowl, and maybe against a different team puts up a few more points or something, but they finished the losing team in the final game of the year. That's a heck of a year. That's well above anything that was expected of the New England Patriots this year. You can pick apart certain parts of it if you like, but again, they dominated where they needed to. They won the games that were in front of them, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do as a team. And they had a hell of a year, Seattle. Again, just an absolute tremendous year. So we'll close the book there on the Super Bowl, on the NFL season, and as we do that, we need to look back at our preseason predictions. Now,
these are going to be good.
Slightly better, than what we did in college, how we did in college.
That's a low bar.
But we did division winners, wild card teams, NFC champ, AFC champ, Super Bowl champ, league MVP, and which team would have the number one pick in the draft. So for me, I had one exact pick correct. Sadly, that was the Philadelphia Eagles as the NFC East champion. I had 6 other predictions correct. Rams, Seahawks, Bills, Texans, Chargers, Broncos, all making the postseason. Mike had one exactly correct. The Eagles winning the East. You're going to pick up a pattern. Six other things. Teams correct. He had Niners, Packers, Bills, Texans, Chargers, and Broncos making the postseason, but didn't have them in the correct spots. EJ, one exact. Eagles winning the NFC East. He did have 7 other things correct. Rams, Niners, Packers, Bills, Texans, Steelers, and Chargers making the postseason. Now he had the Steelers as a wild card team, so he had 7 other things correct. Sean, and I left you for last because you had 2 things correct exactly. Eagles winning the NFC East, the 49ers as the wild card 2.
Nice.
Then you had 5 other things correct. Rams, Bills, Texans, Chargers, and Broncos making the postseason. None of us had conference champions correct. No. None of us had the AFC or the Super Bowl winner correct, obviously. Nobody had league MVP. Nobody had the first team, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So
I know. Of all the years to
you had the Jets. You tried. I think you were the closest.
2, right?
You were the
Jets
closest.
2?
The Jets are 2, I believe. But that is last thing we're looking ahead towards next year, Sean. The Super Bowl betting odds. Have you seen these?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I heard them in the background. People talking about them. I didn't see.
All right. We'll start with the worst chance, Sean. Who do you think has the worst odds to win the Super Bowl next year? Now the Super Bowl in SoFi. It is the Jets. Do you want to?
Because the Raiders people will bet them because of that kid.
Yeah. Raiders have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7th worst.
Yeah, I would say the Cardinals are probably bottom 3.
Cardinals are 3rd to last.
Yeah. It'll be in between there. Someone else just got awful. Browns.
No, Browns actually even with the Raiders.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair. So if it wasn't the Browns, it's not the Titans, is it?
No, they are just below the Raiders.
Good, because I love me some Cam Ward.
They are just below the Raiders.
Yes.
Devin's not going to be happy about who's second to last.
Oh, no.
Yeah, actually tied with the Cardinals for second to last. Actually.
When you think about the state of where that is, with the Tua and the Tyreek and the coaching change.
Bad news.
And it's Ashan and
no! We suck again!
Yeah, that's a bad spot.
It's not great.
Oh, man.
It's not great.
Not great, Bob.
Sean, what?
They're in the same freaking division.
If you had to guess, what do you think the number is for the New York Jets?
Like something to 1 is what we're looking at.
Well, no, like plus.
Oh, plus. I don't know, 12,000.
Plus 25,000.
Get the heck out of here.
The Dolphins and Cardinals are plus 22,500. Those are the only ones that are beyond 20,000.
I mean, what's $5?
Exactly. What's $1?
He's here.
Seriously, what's $1 at that point? Dallas Cowboys plus 3,000. Mike's Bengals plus 3,000. EJ's Giants allegedly at plus 7,500. to win the Super Bowl next year.
Allegedly.
Let's see here. Kyle's 49ers plus 1,800. Sean, your Eagles out of the roster here, your Eagles have the highest at plus 1,500. Along with my Chargers at plus 1,500.
I feel like a plus 1,500.
But who do you think has the best odds?
Let's see.
To win the Super Bowl next year?
Suppose that you're having me guess that it's probably not Seattle. It has to be Seattle. It's either Seattle or Denver or is it one of those two?
It is one of those two.
I'll take Seattle.
It is Seattle plus 750. Denver, I think if you want to put a future odds on a team,
right?
I think the Denver Broncos could be an interesting one. Plus 2,000.
Oh, Jesus.
So they are, let's see. Yeah, they're kind of down. So ahead of Denver is San Francisco, New England, Kansas City, Detroit, Philly, Chargers, Packers, Bills, Ravens, and Rams. The Ravens have the third best odds.
The Rams have second.
Rams are second at plus 800. Ravens and Bills are plus 1,200. Packers plus 13. Chargers, Eagles plus 15. Yeah,
2,000
plus 2,000 on the Broncos. That could be the Jaguars at plus 2,000. Could be.
That's probably a good value too.
The Bears plus 2,700.
Bears.
I think could be a fun. Could be a fun.
Or they
odds
could just
number.
fizzle out for a
They
year
could.
Or two.
They certainly could.
Go in their Washington sophomore year slump.
They could. Those Commanders plus 4,500 for next year. The Colts plus 4,000. I mean, they made some noise early, but
got to re-sign Danny Dimes.
Gotta get. Who would have thought last year when we wrapped up the season? Who would have thought?
Got to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
That's a clip that I need. If he signs back there.
We went over that before, but we thought we had time because Danny Dimes wasn't in the conversation.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that on the board. But yeah, my goodness. All right, so let's begin to wrap it up here, Sean. Like I said, we are our last live show of the season until August when we're back on a weekly basis. We'll check in from time to time in the off season. Continue to follow us on our social media, interact with us when and where we pop up. Possibly some more side projects on the feed as well. So we're not going to go away completely. But looking back on what has been a pretty insane football season, when you look at where we were in August and we started predicting things, I don't think that any of us had any clue where we were going to end up by the time we got to the end of the season. So I have two for each of these written down. I don't know if you have more than one or whatever, but let's start in college football. What are your most memorable moments from this season, Sean?
Well, I mean, as memorable as Indiana winning was, and as memorable as that bell-to-bell run was, for me, it's a much more bleak memorable, I think. I think for me it's kind of this flop at the end. The committee gone wrong. You know, the weird collection of teams that got in. For me, you know, that was like the big standout moment, was like, it's a combination of that, and now you have a lot of critics of this transfer portal, and you have two separate things you got to kind of work on going down the line. And so for me, those two stand out. But hey, if you want one on the field, I'll take the fall of Florida State after beating Alabama. I'll take that.
Yeah. Wow.
Because that was very
Florida State Seminole Vesicles
and fun to watch.
It was a heck of a lot of fun to watch. No, I think you got you hit the nail on the head. One of the two that I wrote down was the way that the college football invitational selection played out. And it's not memorable in a good way, but it's memorable. And I think it and look, I'm sure we're going to get comments because this is probably going to be a TikTok and YouTube clip, but it exposed, regardless of how you feel about the team that you and I represent and love, it exposed the flaws of the way this whole process works. And there's going to be changes next year. We'll talk about those in the offseason, and that'll maybe even be one of the early offseason topics. But changes are coming, benefiting both Power 4 conference champions and Notre Dame. So, and I think part of that was they envisioned something that could have happened. But that was unbelievably memorable. And when you look at the teams that ended up playing for the national title, Notre Dame's the last team to beat the national champion, and they lost to the loser in that game by 3. So you can't in week 1. So they should have been in the conversation. They should have at least been at the table. But on the field, the thing that sticks out to me the most is not Indiana winning the national title, because by the time they won the national title, we knew they were this good. I think the moment that a good portion of the country found out was when Indiana stunned Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. That's when everybody went, oh, this is actually a good football team. So to me, that stands out. I mean, Alabama losing to Florida State and what happened there and some of the upsets we had. But I think the lasting impression is a big portion of the country going, oh, last year wasn't a fluke. This year wasn't a fluke. There certainly are still people who want to discredit them, and they can be wrong. But, yeah, that's what sticks out to me. Switching to the NFL side, Sean, what are your most memorable moments or moment from the NFL season?
Well, I know you said you have 2.
I do.
I have a Mount Rushmore of 4.
Okay.
It's more of an honorable mention and then a top 3. But for me, the honorable mention is probably the coaching changes and the reemergence of 3 franchises. I mean, you could say 4, I guess, but the Patriots, the Bears, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the emergence of 3. And you could almost throw Seattle into this mix. These like young new regimes taking franchises that have had success and bringing them back to a successful stance is one of the more memorable things I think that are going to come out of this year. So that's my honorable mention. You want to throw one of yours, see if it's one of my 3?
Yeah. I look back at the divisional round of the NFL playoffs and the Caleb Williams to Cole Kmet touchdown. I get the Bears lost that game, but that play was spectacular.
Sensation.
That's highlight reel shit for years to come. So yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it sent the game to overtime. It gave the Bears a chance to advance the NFC title game against a really good Rams team. But Caleb Williams, Cole Kmet, a Notre Dame guy, just throwing that out there. But just an unbelievable play. Just an unbelievable play.
Yeah. My ones, I don't have any individual plays. They're more like memorable situations.
Okay.
So I'll go with my lower two tiers. One was the return of Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
I feel like Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement to play a handful of games for, at the time, still with Hope Colts team.
Yep.
It was impressive to see, and it was fun to watch.
Absolutely fun to watch.
And then kind of my top two, take the lesser of them. I'll take preseason. I'll take the Shedeur Sanders draft slide as one of the most memorable moments of the 2025 season.
That's a great point.
There wasn't anyone alive not talking about Shedeur Sanders as he fell down the draft board. And now he's a Pro Bowler. So, talk about bookends, him
Allegedly.
And Joe Flacco, two quarterbacks that played for the Browns this year were Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, just that was Shedeur on draft weekend.
Shedeur. What?
Mine.
Well, I'm wondering if our number ones are the same. I was curious.
Might be. I'll give mine. See if it's the one you got. But the Broncos advancing to the AFC Championship game with the overtime win over the Bills. Obviously, it came at a price with losing Bo Nix, ultimately costing them, at least in my opinion, a berth in the Super Bowl, possibly a Super Bowl victory. I have a couple of friends who are Broncos fans, and they've gone through the range of emotions over the past couple of weeks. But I think also they recognize that, this Broncos team probably not going anywhere. Now, certainly if the Chargers can get healthier, if the Chiefs can find some youth at certain positions, the road may get a little more difficult, a little more bumpy next year, but I don't think the Broncos are going away. But yeah, I think them advancing to that game and being kind of a change point in their franchise a bit, with the young quarterback who, a lot of people didn't want to give any credit to last year when he started to improve. This year when he was playing very well. Still to this day, some people probably don't want to, but yeah, I have the Broncos getting to that AFC title game.
Yeah, not what I had. Right division though. For me, the defining, more of a defining item than a defining moment, is the fall of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now they're not the first team to make a Super Bowl and then plummet the year after.
Right.
And Lord knows the Eagles did it the year after we lost to the Chiefs. The same thing.
Right.
Type of scenario happened. But it was kind of how it happened, where those magic moments that pulled out a one-score game went completely the other way.
Yeah.
And the creative play calling just didn't look like it was there. And the stars that make the big plays just dropped the ball. And it just, it was ugly. It was sloppy. And then a leg injury to boot.
Yeah.
To me, just kind of defined a huge theme of the NFL this year. I think I'm still on EJ's top 10 list. Still there. So
I don't get break my income, but
because anything could happen, But we'll see where that ends up next year. If it's a flash in the pan or something, a sign of things to come. But definitely could be the year people talk about if it doesn't surge back.
And I play that clip and I want to highlight Lou Holtz, of course, Notre Dame legendary college football coach, still reportedly in hospice care, has been for a couple of weeks. So want to give the best to him. And I actually just saw this. Lou Holtz's granddaughter has added a Super Bowl ring to the family legacy. She works in the Seattle Seahawks football operations. She's the football operations coordinator, and gets the win this past weekend. So in what is, I'm sure, a difficult time for the Holtz family. Certainly some at least a bright spot there in the last week. So we want to certainly want to give some thoughts to the Holtz family. But yeah, I mean, it's really has been an incredible season, a unpredictable season, and you know, as we say goodbye to it, man, it's like I'm shocked by a lot of things, good, bad, a little bit ugly. This year was as unpredictable as any as I can remember. And
it was insane at times.
Yeah, it just absolutely insane.
Makes you question everything you know.
Look, a coworker of mine said the phrase, "I know nothing confidently." And that may be one of the most appropriate stamps to put on this season, because nobody had any clue 1 week to the next. It was pure chaos, and it was insane. Sean, do you have any closing thoughts as we wrap up the year here?
Not a ton. Although looking back on the year, I was just watching a clip from the Super Bowl, and Chris Collinsworth had probably my favorite thing he's ever said on air, which it was in the second half. The Seahawks were driving, and
I know
they're saying something in reference to like how good he looks, and then he throws another one. He's like, that was the best pass he's shown all game, and like he's really starting to put something together here. And then he throws a pick on the next play.
Yeah, with the Patriots driving. The Patriots driving.
Yeah, Collinsworth waits like 30 seconds and is just like, I got nothing on that one. And he's just,
way to go, a-hole!
And I was like, man, if I got nothing on that one doesn't sum up every week of coming back after your picks. It's just like, nope.
Yeah.
I didn't have broken leg. I didn't have that, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't have Jacksonville.
Yeah. Didn't have Jacksonville. Didn't have the Patriots. Certainly didn't have Indiana.
But hey, what a time.
Certainly didn't have 3-loss Alabama in the college football playoff. But we made it. We made it.
We made
all
it.
These months later, and we say goodbye for now. Sean, let them know where they can follow you.
Well, if you can follow me in the immediate future, it'll be to the any screen show in the Olympics as I try to cling to sports. But in the off season, check me out on Twitter at Sean Shine State. Should be some posts up there. If I get some side project stuff done, you can find it either there or probably right here with the Huddle Up page. We'll probably all work together on that. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Come back to us next season. And as always, go Birds.
Yeah, and you can follow me. Look, it's year 10 of this show, and it's been great doing it every week. Sean has been here. It was kind of the original idea of the sports podcast side of my life, and it just took 10 years to get here. So
we got there.
Or actually 13 years to get here. 10 years of the Huddle Up podcast to get here. But I want to thank everybody who's tuned in on a weekly basis, on a once in a lifetime basis, every week on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, when people remind us that Notre Dame sucks and the Cowboys stink and we don't know what we're talking about. We appreciate all of you listening and clicking on us as well. As long as you click and you hit that little subscribe button, you can tell me I'm fat, ugly, and stupid as much as you'd like. That is fine by me. But I sincerely want to thank everybody. I want to also thank EJ and Kyle and Mike and Matt, who are part of the team. Certainly not able to be as active of a part this season, but they are always there. So appreciate all of you guys. And as we begin to start to wrap up the show, I want to remind everybody you can follow us on all of our podcasts on all podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and more. Like I said, hit the subscribe button on that YouTube channel. If you're on the video side still, scan the QR code top right corner of the screen. The link tree is in all of our social media episode description. That'll get you everything as well. We do have the TeePublic store. But you can also follow me at Big Jim Sports. But I'm probably not as enjoyable as the Huddle Up account or the projects we do here. So just follow us. And we don't know the next time that we will be with you. But there will be episodes in some form and variety throughout the off season. But somewhere about the early to middle part of August, we'll kick it off again for a season 11 of our weekly live shows as we begin to get ready for the football seasons, Lord willing, of course. But until then, whatever you do, please stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.